Kings understand what it means to grind in the dark. When they have direction and they're working on something that they know will yield future success, there's no stopping them. And they understand that there is a period before success where it feels like all of their efforts are meaningless. They'll have zero tangible results. No one knows them, no one believes in them, and they have every reason to quit. And yet, in this period, kings dig deeper than ever, double down on their efforts, and they grind anyway. And from there, it's only a matter of time before everyone else sees the fruits of that. So now that you've seen a glimpse of a king, ask yourself, are you among them? My name is Logan, and on this channel, I help you realize that you are in fact a king. And as such, it is time to think like a king. And in so doing, you will live like a king. Now, there is a very important trait that is shared by highly successful people, and that is their resolve to continue working day after day, hour after hour towards one big goal without getting distracted. And this is essentially the definition of what I call grinding in the dark. And that is the very important topic that we are tackling today. So let's start by breaking down the last piece of that definition, and that is working towards a goal without getting distracted. And in order to fully understand this, we have got to talk about shiny object syndrome. And that is basically the idea that people are distracted very easily by new opportunities. So someone will start working towards one goal, putting in the effort, climbing the mountain. And then out of the corner of their eye, they notice the shiny object. And that is some brand new opportunity that will guarantee them success and help them get the life they always dreamed about. So what do? They jump off of the mountain that they're currently on and start at the bottom of the mountain of the new opportunity. So now they're grinding towards a new goal, the one that shiny object opportunity presented them. So they put the effort in, they're climbing the mountain, they get halfway up, and lo and behold, there is a new shiny object. And theirs is starting to look a bit dull at this point. It's not as shiny as it once was. So what do? They jump off the mountain again, start at the bottom of the new opportunity, and the cycle continues. Now, the big issue with this is probably very apparent to you. They never stick with something long enough to see success with it. But the thing is, there's always a new shiny object, and there will always be a brand new opportunity that you could head towards. But we must learn to stay on the current path long enough to where success seems unreasonable. And one of my favorite people to take advice from often talks about this concept. His name is Alex Hormozi. You might have heard of him. His company did like over 100 million last year or something crazy like that, so he's pretty knowledgeable about this stuff. And he talks about how people will come to him and tell him like 3 skills they could try learning, 3 different things they could do and then make money with. So they'll say something like, well, I could learn sales, marketing, or I could learn to code. Which one should I do? And I love his answer to this because he'll just look at them and say, yes. In other words, all of those could lead to lucrative businesses. And it's way less about picking one than it is about sticking with one. Okay, so we know that we should be picking and sticking with opportunities, but why does this get so difficult? Well, it's because it's boring. See, at the beginning, you're able to put massive amounts of effort into something because it's new and exciting. Every opportunity starts as the shiny object. And that's okay. I mean, I feel like it should be the shiny object for you, at least at the beginning, because you should have some level of excitement about what you are pursuing. But after a while of doing something, it starts to become dull. The reality sets in that in order to be successful with this, you'll have to work so many hours, day in, day out, on the same repetitive tasks without seeing many, if any, results. But the thing is that it's often the boring work that will yield the future results. So use motivators that keep you on the path of doing the boring work. Now, of course, you want to have big goals far off in the future, but you also want to create smaller milestones for yourself so you can keep racking up victories to have things to work towards along the way. And you should also use negative motivators. Look at your current life and imagine how it will continue if you don't do the boring work. Waking up in 5 years in the same position that you are today should scare you. Use that. Boring stuff is often simple but tough to stay with. So use everything at your disposal. You will need it to keep pushing on the path so that you can achieve greatness. Okay, so now I want to give you a warning, something that you will definitely experience if you choose to grind in the dark. Your closest family and friends will see you grinding in the dark and they won't understand. This is one of the biggest hurdles from people. You start getting crap from the people close to you and it hurts. See, those people, they notice that you're not getting any results. and yet you're spending all of these hours working. And now you're no longer available to see them every second of the day. And so they start taking shots at you because they're upset. They'll be like, what are you working towards anyway? You've been doing this for a year and you have nothing to show for it. And when someone you love says something like that, gonna feel it. It's going to hurt. But you have to remember that this is your life, not theirs. If they want to spend their time getting mad at you for trying to better yourself, that's on them. You cannot spend your time worried about what other people who are not in your shoes, not in your situation, think about your life. And stay committed long enough and they will see your success. So you don't even have to worry if they're not seeing it now. So continue to remind yourself that you are free from their judgment. Their negativity has no bearing on your life. And hey, some of them you might need to cut out of your life completely. They're really dragging you down, get them out of there. And I actually have a video that describes just how to do that. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But if they are family or someone that you really want to maintain a relationship with anyway, you just cannot let them drag you down. And if you do let them drag you down, then your relationship with them will not be good anyway. So if you stop your grind for them, you will always resent them for it. So do you and them a favor. Let their comments roll off your back. You are accountable to yourself and God, not them, brother. So yes, we've spent a lot of time talking about the difficulties of grinding in the dark, but I do want to touch on one thing that is very freeing about this concept as well. And that's besides the fact that it will definitely yield success in the future. But before that success, when you're in it, when you're grinding in the dark, remember this. You actually have a ton of freedom. No one knows you. The stakes are low and it's easy to take risks. This part is beautiful. No one is watching and you'll have a much more mental freedom to fail because, well, no one's going to see it anyway. And even if they do, you'll be able to point to the fact that, hey, you're just starting out. You'll get it in the future. And you'll also have much less to lose at this point. So that gives you a ton of freedom to try. You can go all in on something just to see if it will work. So keep this in mind as you're grinding away and use this opportunity to take risks now that might be more difficult to take down the line. I want to end with telling you why this concept of grinding in the dark, putting in the consistent effort long before you see any success is so important to me. And it's really for two reasons. The first, because I know it works, because I've done it before. I used it to get in shape. I used it to get into medical school. I used it to get into my current role, that is a software engineer at Microsoft, and I've used it countless other times. But the second reason is far more important, and that is because I'm doing it right now. I am grinding away while being completely in the dark. My last video at the time of recording this is sitting at 25 views. Now, first of all, I want to say that I am grateful for that. I'm so thankful for each and one of you who are tuning in and being in the family. But objectively speaking, I understand that I just have not achieved that much success on YouTube. Doesn't matter. So I will keep going, even while it's dark, even while I have people telling me I will never make it. I'll continue to put in the effort and trust God. And one day, when I reach success, I will tell people exactly what it took. And here's the thing, I want you on this journey with me. Let's be iron sharpening iron. Let's all grind in the dark together. And one day, when we make it, we'll tell all of them how we did it. Now, bro, got anything from the video? Drop it a like and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you, the family. But now it's time for me to serve as your reminder. Always put the work in. And from there, leave it in the hands of the one true king. Stay kingly.